Hey, 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 fam. What's good? What's good? Rev T in the building for Tuesdays with Tawana. Yes, another Tuesday. So grateful to be here building community one episode at a time. Grateful for your presence. Grateful for whatever is about to happen in this moment as we just chop it up today. We just going to chop it up and talk about some things. And yeah, it's a lot going on in the world, a lot to cover in 30 minutes. So I'm so grateful that you are here to join us. And I'm working from two screens today. So if I look away, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just, trying to set things up and show some people some love in the comments, because the platform I use, sometimes there's a delay in the comments. So anyway, that's some housekeeping stuff. So first things first, thank you for joining. So excited to be here. Had treatment on yesterday and was surprisingly tired. Yeah, but got some energy today, and so grateful for the energy that I have, because I love my community and I love spending Tuesdays with you as much as possible. I want to give a shout out to some people and their clothing lines, because today I am representing Tizzy T's Stronger Than Cancer, a shirt, a motivational shirt, one of the motivational shirts from their collection. So Ty and Tina were kind enough to send me some gifts. I love gifts. I love gifts. So I'm so grateful for that. So I will definitely make sure that I put their information in the comments. Yeah, so you can buy a shirt, because this shirt line is popping. I must say, it is definitely popping. So we're going to put Tizzy T's in here. And while we are here, hey, Mama Lovey. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. As beautiful as you, Mama Lovey. I'm trying. Ah, Tamika in the building. Hey, niece. Good to see you. Good to see you. I am going to add some stuff in the text as soon as I know how to do that, and if not, I will do it after we finish with the broadcast. So yeah, hey Julie, glad you're here today. Hey Mama Lovey, Mama Carolyn, you are in the house today. I'm so grateful. Once again, want to shout out to Ty and Tizzy T's with the t-shirt line that he has. And I will get the link up and running in 2 seconds, and then we're gonna get it chopping. So for those, you're regulars, so you've heard this spiel for a minute. But for those who are new to this platform, we kind of chop it up. We usually I have topics or subjects, or I'll just get up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm about to talk to my fam, and we just gonna chop it up about whatever is on our hearts, our minds, and our souls. Miss Lorraine, good to see you. Blessings to you, beloved. Definitely miss my people in Denver for sure. So yeah, we are going to make things happen. So this vodcast is turned into a podcast. So those who listen to it as a podcast, you'll hear me shout out some people because they're popping on Facebook, so that we can have a conversation, we could build community. And if you listen to this as a podcast, feel free to, put stuff in the comments. I try to go back and check and answer, or just at the very least, if it's a comment, I like your comment and want to engage and honor everybody in this community building moment. Hey brother, so good to see you. Missed a lot of y'all last week, and I was like, oh, I miss y'all. Not, we all have lives, and I do appreciate the time, the 30 minutes that you make time for Tuesdays with Tawana too, because I can't build community by myself. We are Ubuntu. I am because you are. We do this together. There's healing in community. There's transformation in community. There's strength in community. There's love in community. There's empowerment in community. So we got to do this thing together. Reverend Quante is in the building. Hey, sis. So good to see you as always. See you doing beautiful things. Keep up the great work that you are doing, especially with those beautiful boys that you're raising. I love you dearly. I can't wait for COVID to be over. What about y'all? I want to get on a plane. I want to travel. I want to go to the islands. I want to go to Denver. I want to go to California. I want to go to Atlanta. I'm always in New York on the low, always sneaking up there here and there. But I want to travel and be with my beloveds. And this world is a national world or a global world now. So we should have this opportunity to really share in person. And since we can't, I hope you can feel all the loving energy that I feel on this platform, because I feel it. We are beyond space and time. We are beyond our situation and circumstance, and we're able to love and to heal and to grow and to share with one another as much as possible. So as we're talking about that, I do want to mention some things where this platform, I was inspired to do this several years ago when I was living in Denver, and there was a challenge with a basketball game that was being set up. Young people were going to play basketball with law enforcement. And we protested that, not because we were adverse or against building community, but the timing just wasn't right, because people were being killed. I think at the time, Jesse Hernandez was killed, and a few others. I'm sorry, I can't name them off the top of my head, but there were a few others that were killed. And we did not want to send the wrong message to the community or to young people, thinking that, oh, we could play ball with y'all, so when I'm out in the street, I don't have to worry about you killing us or pulling us over because we're black, or we're driving while black, or walking while black, or driving a car while black. It just sends these contradicting messages. So I was inspired to do this through that moment, and it was just me talking and sharing my thoughts, and feelings about the basketball game, and then I just continued to do it because it really engaged a conversation that was a beautiful conversation, even to the point where I was invited to the table to speak with the mayor, 2 police commissioners, a few pastors, beloved community leaders, and we were all there to talk about this basketball game. And I told a story about my daughter and my grandson driving on I-70, and a police car was coming behind them with their sirens on. And my daughter started crying. My grandson was a bit younger. He was in the back seat upset because she thought she was about to be pulled over. And she thought she was about to be pulled over, and being pulled over, you can't help but think that this might be the last time that you might see your family, because you don't know one wrong move or no move at all. We're not even putting it on the victim. One ill thought from those in power and those in law enforcement could end up in death. And we have seen it with the myriad of people just over the last 8 to 9 years, how many people have been killed. Black folk, Black beloveds have been killed. So afterward, I shared the story with this group of about 50 people in this room, and the police commissioner, we ended up meeting with Soul to Soul, ended up meeting with the police commissioner, some other folk, and trying to get them to understand, like, listen, it's just not about playing basketball. This is not a game. This is not the game of life. Lives are being taken away and lives are being challenged. So that really prompted me to begin and to continue to talk about to talk about life and the challenges that we face, and how do we respond, and how do we build community, not only in silos. We don't want to build, we need to build Black beloved communities because we need to understand one another and our plight and our history. But at the same time, we need to understand the BIPOC community at large, Black, Indigenous, people of color. And then we also include white people who are willing and able to talk about the heinous past, talk about the harrowing present, so that we can build a promising, beloved future, right? So we can't do this separately. We got to do it together. Not everybody is going to agree. And that's another beautiful thing about being in relationship. Not everybody is going to agree with what you have to say, but it doesn't mean that I have to dismiss you or throw you away. It means that we can agree to disagree on this particular thing, because we may miss out on a myriad of things that we may agree on. And because we're angry or we're throwing people away because of a disagreement or an ideology or a stance or an ideal, and we throw the whole person away. That is so antithetical to who we are. Where is the moment to understand, seek to understand, or the principles of Kwanzaa, where we are building this collective work and responsibility? How can we do that if we are not coming together as a collective? And so then later on, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So this diagnosis has taught me so much about loving myself, loving who I am, loving the skin that I'm in, loving the challenges that I face, knowing that there is a community that is rallying around me to help me work through and journey through this healing process. So that was another piece of community, and that community was a mosaic of people, right? Whether it was church folk, non-church folk, young folk, seasoned folk, Black folk, white folk, everything in between. That community was so beautiful and indicative of what we can do in community in our world. And so just being inspired to keep doing this and keep doing this and keep positing information. I don't consider myself an influencer. I just don't think that is a name that we just put on ourselves. That's like when we talk about soul to soul and facing racism, being an ally or being a comrade or a co-conspirator is not a title or a badge of honor. Like you graduate from ally to the next step until you are a co-conspirator. No, it's something that the community blesses you with. And someone called me, I can't remember, I wish I could remember who it was, but someone called me a thought provoker. Right. And so then I just use that because I just want to posit information to make us think, to make us feel, because how we feel influences how we think influences our actions. So sometimes oftentimes when we're able to reconcile that and love ourselves and begin with us, then we can also connect that with other people and other people and other people, and then build the community, the beloved community that we are so in desperate need of. I mean, just today, I don't know if the jury came back with a decision yet, but the jury is deliberating in the Kyle Rittenhour trial. We are in the midst of the trial. I won't name the 3 men that attacked Ahmaud Arbery, but they're facing, hopefully we'll get some justice, right? Hopefully we will get some justice. So these are very trying times where we must come together as community. But then how do we come together in community? Last week I talked about how do we get people in through the door to sit in the room and to build community when trust is such a big issue. Trust is such a big issue in our own communities, Black, Indigenous, people of color, the silos, the disrespect, the mistrust. Hey, Devin, how are you, Reverend? My beloved friend. Good to see you. we have challenges within itself. Like in the Black community, I often speak in my context of being a part of the Black community, where there is colorism and classism and ableism and a whole bunch of other isms that we have to deal with, and then trying to, join together with another community who has similar, if not the same, issues. But when we reconcile all of that and we acknowledge it and we name it and we face it and we fix it and we love ourselves beyond measure, we love ourselves with this unconditional positive regard. We love ourselves as the divine beings that we are. We love ourselves as the communal beings that we were created to be. Then the community begins to grow and build and look different and feel different and be honored in those differences, because we're not a monolith. We don't all act the same and look the same, whether we are a part of the same racial community or not. We are not a monolith. So we need to acknowledge, or we have an opportunity to acknowledge those differences and come together. But one of the challenges is the trust factor. Because oftentimes I find, as I grew up, when last week I talked about, we don't even mention the word cancer, or if we're dealing with a debilitating disease, we don't really talk about it, because I'm not sure I can trust you to hold space for me, to hold beautiful space for me and not wish ill upon me. Or even with the doctors, with all the things that we have been through, with doctors stealing our cells and experimenting on us. And now you want us to do clinical trials and lack of insurance. My daughter looked down at my CVS report, like a brief report. When you pick up a prescription, they waste all this paper and they add all this. Well, it's not a waste. Let me not say that. They add all these papers and the price was there. And my daughter was like, "You pay that much for your medication?" Yeah, every month. Every month for one medication, $137 every month. So when we talk about equitable distribution and talk about access to healthcare, sometimes we even have the access and we can't afford the access that we have because Big Pharma is charging these astronomical prices. And then you want me to trust the pharmaceutical company with a vaccine or with, clinical trials and all that? I mean, I'm vaccinated. I have both of my vaccinations and my booster, and I did it because I wanted to live and not die at the hands of the systemic ills of COVID, because not many people were showing love to me. If you're not vaccinated and I'm immune compromised, it puts me at greater risk, and I don't want to be at greater risk. And there's a few of us out here who are immune compromised, and people, it's not just cancer survivors and thrivers. You have people who have autoimmune diseases. You have people who have other underlying conditions, whether it's being overweight, heart conditions, lung problems, diabetes. All of those have those underlying conditions and put people further at risk. So how do we come together and love one another, even within our own stance and our own belief, and holding on to what we believe in, but yet still at the same time loving and protecting those who are around us? I've listened to different people who are not vaccinated, and some people can't get the vaccination. Some people are struggling with that within themselves because of their whatever's going on in their bodies. It would be adversely effective for them. So they always have to wear a mask. They always have to remain somewhat isolated or stay 6 feet away. But yet they're still showing love, not only for themselves, but for the community, even when they can't be vaccinated. Being unable to get the vaccine and being an anti-vaxxer are two different things. So let's honor that space, and let's honor those who can't be vaccinated, and what can community do to help them? Because even with my being vaccinated and my immune system being challenged, I still have to, get my groceries delivered. I try not to be out too often. I mean, I do get out. I do get out and get some fresh air and some vitamin D from the sun. And when I go into the supermarket, I'm wearing my mask. And when I come home, when I get in the car, I put on the hand sanitizer. When I come home, I'm washing my hands for 20 seconds. I'm changing my clothes, doing all of those things with a fractured foot, mind you. Don't forget, I still have this boot on my foot for another 3 weeks. So doing all of that to care for myself so that I can care for other people. So let me transition a bit on a personal note. Today is a very special day, talking about community, talking about learning from our griots. And I didn't mention that. Learning from our griots are very important. Google is not my griot. Google is good for what it is when it's good, and it's really bad when it's bad. So really finding those griots in our community, but in order to find the griots in our community, those that tell the truth to power, those that are true storytellers, those that tell of our history, of our rich history and all that we have gone through and our resilience and our resistance, and pass that on to the next generation so that they can pass it on to the next generation, right? So seeking out griots in our communities is so important at this time, and not listening to certain news channels and certain media outlets, because they are not there for us. They were not designed for us. They were not designed to speak life in us. So listening to our griots in the community is really important. So speaking of which, today is a very special day. First of all, let me say happy birthday to Soul Sisters. Today makes 6 years that Soul to Soul Sisters has been in existence, doing the work, the Facing Racism work, but not only doing Facing Racism work, but doing amazing work for beautiful Black women beloveds. Black women, however you identify, Black women, Black trans women, Black non-binary conforming women. It's just been amazing how this organization grew from a meeting that Reverend Dawn and I had at Whittier Cafe about creating this movement that is to build community and self-love. Thank you for the congratulations, Tammy. I appreciate it. Yeah, today is our 6th birthday. And as many of you know, I'm not active with Soul to Soul because of my health. I had to step down a while ago, and so they honor me. Many of them showed up to my dissertation defense, which is really about facing racism and how Soul to Soul was created, and how womanism is an epistemology, a way of knowing. So we use womanism and intergroup dialogue to fight anti-Black racism. So thank you, Devin. Yes, it's our anniversary. Woohoo! I won't sing because my voice is a little hoarse from treatment on yesterday. So I'm so grateful. But today is also a beautiful day because my mama was born on this day, November 16th, 1935. And unfortunately, this world just lost such a gem, March 28th of 1993. But when I talk about griots, I talk about my mom. I talk about Dr. Deborah Mixon Mitchell from Soul to Soul, the griots that have the wisdom and the beautiful prowess and the courage to speak truth to power. My mom, all of these words and this language didn't exist, but she lived it. She lived it with her smile. She lived it with her countenance. She lived it by being a foster parent for 15 years. She lived it by having me at age 35, when, age 35. When being 35 was old to have a child then, back in 1970. Oh, let me see what my brother has to say about our mother. If a rose grows in heaven, dear Lord, please pick a bunch for them, for her children, Larry and my sisters, and Reverend Dr. Tawana Angela Davis, Marie Younger, Tina Davis, Corey Davis, and place them in my mother's arms as they tell and tell her that they are from her family. Tell her that we love her and miss her. And when she turns to smile, place a kiss upon her cheek and tell our mother, Rose Davis, that we love her so much. Happy birthday, Mommy. What a beautiful way to close out this time together. My niece is Marie's daughter, my older sister's daughter, and she said she's the reason I know I belong in any room I step into. Ashe. Ashe to what Larry said. This is why her children and her children's children continue to love one another and continue to support one another and continue to do the things that we do in our own special way. I love you so much, Amy. We continue to do what we do, and we do it in our own special way. There's no right way or wrong way. I do this. My brother is not only my biggest cheerleader, but my ride or die. My older sister is she's my cool sister. Like she'll call and she just wants to show me love, and then she gets emotional, and then she's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Man, Tamika knows this. My niece is like my sister. We were raised together in Wagner Projects because of my mom, because that's just who she was. And we built family together to do what we do. And this is why we do what we do, because of examples like her. So as we are building community, one broadcast at a time, I encourage you to love beyond measure and to love yourself first. Protect yourself. Protect your energy. You know, just because I say love unconditionally or love with unconditional positive regard does not mean that we expose ourselves to the ills people try to put on us, or the hurt that people try to put on us, or dismissing us, or throwing us away, or talking ill about us, or not wishing us well. We don't have to deal with any of that. But what I will do is be able to walk away with a clean heart and a right spirit, so that I too am not doing the same behavior that you are doing. I am above that. It's all above me now. Remember that when that was going around? For me, it's the love of myself. That's what it is for me. Oh, my beautiful friend. Yes, Lady Sunday, my wonderful neighbor for 17 years. Yes, happy heavenly birthday, Mommy. So we learn from each other, and I can step away from you and still have a clean heart, and I don't have to worry about what you're saying about me or what you're doing that's adverse against me. Unconditional positive regard is more for me, and then hoping the same for you. The unconditional love is that I don't put conditions on that love, but when you don't live up to your own conditions and your own stance and loving yourself, then I can't really rock with you on that level. I have to rock with you differently, which means I may have to walk away to protect my peace and to protect my energy, because anytime anything is adverse to my body, my cells love that, and then cancer loves that. So I have been with Ned, no evidence of disease, for quite some time right now, and I would love to keep it that way, beloved. I would love to keep it that way. So I will continue to do Tuesdays with Tawana. I will continue to do my very best with my heart and my soul to build community one broadcast at a time, to continue to write, to continue to do better, to continue to learn from the griots even on this line, to continue to love my brothers and sisters, blood and beyond, continue to be present in spirit, because we are divine human beings made in the image and likeness of God. We are not made in anyone else's image and likeness. So I will not live up to other people's expectations. I have my own that I have to deal with. Reverend Sheila, oh, I love you. You better preach that love. I love you to the moon and back, Reverend Sheila. And I finally want to close with this. Thank you, everyone. And I'll send out a formal thank you, electronic thank you to everyone who attended my dissertation defense. I tell you, it was 60 people on the call, and each one of you just touched a special place in my heart, and I will never forget the time that you sacrificed to be with me on that call. I'm so grateful. So I am the Dr. Tad, Dr. Tawana Davis. I am Reverend Dr. Tawana Davis. So grateful for this opportunity, because now it's not about the title, it's what I do with the research and the information to build my community and love on my community, including my family, my children, my grandson. It's all about learning and knowing, epistemology and ontology, and being a womanist, unapologetically centering myself, speaking truth to power, loving everyone, loving to dance, loving the fullness of me, loving my body, loving my mind, loving my soul, loving one another. That's what womanism is all about. So I will continue to live out this womanist prowess as long as I am able to. So I thank you. Quante said, beautiful sis, congratulations again. Thank you. My dear friend, Reverend Foster, thank you for being who you are and this community. You are a blessing, and you are a blessing to me. I've never shared this with you, and how much you supported me when I was in Board of Examiners in New York and was going through some challenges. You sat right by my side to help me, and I will be forever grateful for you. We don't get to talk often, but just know that you always will hold a special place in my heart. Adrian, classmate in the building. Yes, Reverend Dr. Tawana Angela Davis, PhD, is in the building. So this is our time. I love y'all for showing up and showing out for me. I love you for taking the time out, whether you were able to hop on for 5 minutes or be on for the full 30. I love you. And there's nothing you could do about it. Thank you, Ty. Once again, I'll post the website, Stronger Than Cancer. There's so many different designs, graphic tees, inspirational tees. I will put the website in the comments, and I will put it on my page to promote the page. And then next week, you'll see another iteration of these wonderful t-shirts that he is printing up and presenting to community. So everyone, walk away from this call with the fullness of love, all that you can stand. Live in your overflow, live in the abundance, live out of the positive, just positive vibes and energy and movement, because we're just all that and then some. I am because you are. So I need you to survive. I need you to be all that. I need you to be all that and then some, so I can be who I be. And I want to thank Butter Skincare for taking care of my skin. Chemo is a beast and affects me in so many different ways. And Butter by Dorian, nobody's paying me for this. I just love Black businesses. So hence the shirt, hence the necklace. Well, maybe not the earrings. I won't say where they came from because we won't give them credit. But my hair, all of that. Love Black businesses, support Black business for the holidays. So I'll post Ty's website. I'll also post Tanisha's website for her Love and Lipstick, and she's a makeup artist. So let's rock, y'all. Let's begin to build community, one video, one broadcast at a time. I am Reverend T, Reverend Dr. T, Dr. Tad in the building, signing off. See y'all next Tuesday. Love you dearly.